No, Sarah. Yeah, 3 and 3.
Okay, because they all have it, don't they?
Kids are trying to do that.
We might grab some of your services because they're running out.
Oh.
Great problem to have.
Okay. You need these?
Not those, I don't need any. Yeah, these I got like it.
No.
I think we're fine, but if not, we're bad. We call that Indian giver.
Really?
That's not.
Yeah, that's not kosher either.
Get your phone out. It's old enough. Well, we're moving that help. I shut you up. Let me show the speed. We're starting.
Your seat's right here, my friend. Set them right here. One of them you can look to see. Okay, only two they will share. Few friends can am I getting them? We need.
Sarah will be here.
Okay, all right. You start.
Welcome, Shabbat Shalom. We're watching people walk in, and we are so delighted to welcome everybody to this wonderful, St. Patrick's Day, St. Gertrude's Day, everybody's birthday in the world, and a variety of other things as well. And this Shabbat, we welcome our friends from the Westminster, I know it's in the Southminster. See, I'm directionally challenged. Southminster Church are here to visit with us, their confirmation class, and we have a variety of people who are celebrating birthdays. Helene is not in here yet, but her beloved husband, Hank Adler, had started before COVID having celebrations of birthdays for our seniors, which since then I've grown into that group. So we have a special honorary birthday for all of them. And those of you who had birthdays this week who aren't on the list should really be happy because you're not seniors yet. But we have some birthdays to celebrate, and we have the Sabbath to celebrate. And so we bless that we are together. And I will mention that since it is Mary's birthday, she asked her school friends to come and are from court to sing with her.
And to sing with the choir.
Okay.
This is the next generation choir right here. Here it is. Here it is.
And look, they can't, they're already gone. That was too much pressure.
Was it? Don't scare them. Don't scare them. All right. If you can do a little rhythm on your lap with us. Hine mato umarayim shevetachim gam yachad. Hine mato umarayim shevetachim gam yachad. How good it is. How good it is. How sweet it is. How sweet it is. To be together on this day. Make waves in the ocean. How good it is. How sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
To be together on this day. Now you know it, everybody. Hine mato umanayim shevetachim gam yachad. Hine mato umanayim shevetachim gam yachad. How good it is. How good it is. How sweet it is. How sweet it is. To be together on this day. How good it is. How good it is. How sweet it is. How sweet it is. To be together on this day. Whisper it. Umanayim shevetachim gam yachad.
And we continue welcoming the warmth of Shabbat, and Libby's first going to come up and help light the Shabbat candles. We'll pretend they're birthday candles with her mom, Rachel, and Melissa's going to join them as well. We will welcome the Sabbath with that much more warmth and that much more light to welcome this special day in our community. Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu, le'chad l'ner, shel Did I hear a Shalom Aleichem was in the offing?
Absolutely.
Well, so Shalom Aleichem is the story of the angels who join us on Shabbat. They see that we are gathered in a community and say, may it be like this next Shabbat too. So we welcome with the words, Shalom Aleichem, welcome unto you. them with peace. May they come in peace. May they bless us with peace. And as they leave in peace, we anticipate next week when they will return to us in peace. We continue now with our call to worship on the top of page 3, and we rise together.
Baruch Hu et Adonai,
Praise be Adonai, to whom our praise is due now and forever. We continue with the prayer that thanks God for bringing on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bivaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvivuna mishenei itim, umachalif et hazmanim, Umisader et kohabim b'mishmerotehem v'rakia kirtzono. V'orei yom v'layla goleh or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom u'mevit layla uma'avir be'yom u'veit layla. Adonai tzvaot shemo el chai v'kayam tamid imo chalem la'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim.
Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Boreyam v'layla, goleh omib nechoshet, goleh hamim nechoshet, v'choshet v'nei or. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night.
We read responsibly on the bottom of page 3. Eternal God, whose temple is the whole world, and whose dwelling place is the human heart, we know that you are everywhere and that your presence never leaves us. Yet we are thankful for appointed times and chosen places where in fellowship with one another our spirits turn to you. At this service, at this hour, and in this place, help us to feel your nearness. The week of toil is ended, the day of rest has come, and we pause to reflect on the meaning of our lives. Source of all creation, you have given us the blessing of work, so that by our efforts we may fashion things and use moments of helpfulness. But you have also given us Shabbat, a moment for self-renewal and sanctification. May the work of our hands and minds be acceptable to you. May this Shabbat enrich our lives, drawing us closer to you in truth and in love. Continue with the Shema.
Mrs. Peering, would you like to come up? Caught her off guard. She's going to do the sign words with us, yes. Yes. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ayed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ayed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
And we may be seated as we continue with the first paragraph of the Shema, as it appears right in the words of the Torah. To our guests, the Torah is the text of the 5 books of Moses, and indeed they have a special ancient tune by which we learn it. The words that you may very well know from liturgies that you share in Hebrew and from the text of Torah sound like this on page 4. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha v'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher Anochi mitzadcha hayom levavecha v'shikantam V'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'beitecha, u'vlechtecha b'derech, u'shokbecha u'kumecha, u'shartam le'olot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totacha u'kreinecha, u'taftam al mezuzot beitecha, u'misharecha. Lemon tiseru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'yitem kedoshim Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hoseiti echem me'eretz Mitzrayim, l'yot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. And so that we are all on the same page, we read the English together. So our guests know the English, we know the Hebrew, but I bet we don't. Anybody knows both. And these are what we just chanted. And we read together, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, and you shall teach them diligently to your children. And when you speak of them, when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up, you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. And you should write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments and be holy unto your God. Elie Wiesel has said if we have learned one thing from our past, it is that to live through dramatic events is not enough. One has to share them and transform them into acts of conscience. Indeed, the Jewish people, ever since slavery in Egypt, believe that it is our march to freedom that counts more than anything else. And so before our Mi Chamocha song, which is the prayer that the Israelites sang as they were free, our youth have a special March to the Sea preparation for us.
We are marching and marching across the sea. Get those knees up. Marching and marching across the sea. You can do it if you want to. Marching and marching across the sea. We are marching and marching across the sea. We are history. Point behind you. We are family. I remember you. Point nicely to someone. Do you remember me? We are wiggling and wiggling across the sea. We are wiggling they point to the ark. That's the Torah. There's our history. We are family. Point to everyone. Now point to somebody you didn't point to last time. I remember you. Do you remember me? We are marching and marching across the sea. We are marching and marching across the sea. We are wiggling and wiggling across the sea. We are wiggling and wiggling across the sea. We are history. We are family. I remember you and you and you and you and you. Do you remember me? Clap it out. Let me hear you. Again. That was beautiful. Don't go anywhere. Can I have the choir stand, please? Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Thank you. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehda b'kodesh, norat hilo osef elem, norat hilo osef elem. Malachutecha rahu banecha, buket moya lifnei Moshe. Zehelianu v'yamru, Zehelianu v'yamru, Adonai yiblo le'olam ha'ayeh, Adonai yiblo le'olam ha'ayeh. One more, mi chamocha, nice and strong. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehda b'kodesh, norat hilot osef elem, norat hilot osef elem.
We continue with the Amidah on page 6. We rise together. Amidah means to stand, and this is the benediction for which we stand.
You know this one. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatitita. Na 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 Uviagi tanila techa. Ana na 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 Adonai. Ana na 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 Svatitita. Ana na 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 Uviagi. Uviagi tanila techa. Really fast. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatitita. Sing with me. Na 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 Uviagi. Uviagi tanila techa. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatitita. Na 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 Uviagi. Uviagi tahila techa.
Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezra Sarah, atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei hakol hara b'hoshia, mechakeh chayim b'chesed, mechayei hakol b'rachamim rabim. Somei noflim b'rofei cholim, umatir asurim, umechayei emunato l'shenei afar, michamocha b'durot, umidomecha, melech me'id umechayei, umatzliach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah hayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yechalu chasela, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. And we are seated, having just said the very traditional and very ancient blessings that our ancestors passed down to us to remind us to praise God of our ancestors and those who passed this heritage to us. We praise God's strength and God's holiness. At the top of page 7, we believe in tomorrow. We believe that we have the power to make tomorrow different from today. We believe that poverty need not be permanent and that people need not learn more forever. We believe in people despite all that we know about them. We believe that there can still be a time of peace and a time of justice, a time of fellowship and a time of tranquility for all who live on earth. We believe that we can have a share in bringing that day closer by the way in which we live in the week to come. Even though the world may smile at our dreams, it does not matter. We still believe, as we have our prayer for shalom, for peace, to this liturgy at the bottom of page 7, Shalom Rach.
You guys know this one? Shalom Rach, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rach, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lecho hashalom. Shalom Rach, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rach, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael, v'chohen u'chol shah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rach, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rach, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
for those people in our congregation, in our families, and in our world who are needing an extra prayer for healing and wholeness. Before our Misha prayer, if you would like to mention the name of anyone and dedicate this prayer for healing, this is our opportunity to mention their names aloud.
Arlene Graham. Robin Stewart.
For all the members in our community who need healing and all of those whose names are in our hearts, we offer up a Misha Bela, the prayer for healing on page 2 parties. As we said, some of us are meeting out in the hallway to have birthday cake to celebrate all those birthdays, which have taken place from January to March. Hank Adler, our beloved member, and may his memory be for a blessing, wanted a special celebration for all of us over 65 to wish us happy birthday quarterly, to bring us together, to celebrate another year of life. We do know that a few of you youngsters also have birthdays in January through March, and you're welcome to join us for this as well. But we also have a few honored guests with us who have come to learn a little bit more about Judaism, and we will invite them following services, and we'll save some cake, don't worry, but to spend a few minutes on our bima to show you the Torah scrolls. I imagine that you have learned in anticipation that the Torah is the scroll of the 5 books of Moses, and it was broken into 54 sections so that every week we can read a new portion. We start in fall with creation and we work our way through chapter by chapter. We this week are at the very end of the book of Exodus. Now, you may be dismayed to learn that the text of the Torah is just Hebrew letters. There's no vowels, there's no punctuation. If you think it might be hard for these 13-year-olds when they get there to learn the Hebrew letters, imagine that we teach them how to read and then we take all their vowels and punctuation away. It's really very difficult. We've made all kinds of progress in technology and AI, but we have yet to make a Torah scroll out of a graphic novel so that it's easy for our bar mitzvah students. Except with regard to this 1-week Torah portion. You may be astonished to learn that there is one picture in our Talmud, our later rabbinic commentary on the entire 5 books of Moses, and it's a small illustration which some of you can see as number 4 on the handout that I gave you. And it is based on this week's Torah portion, and I learned it from a column from my colleague, Rabbi Robert Scheinberg, a rabbi in residence at the Academy of Jewish Religion. And so, as I said, we're currently reading the book of Exodus. You know the story and what we're up to now. Recall that the Israelite slaves had been freed from Egypt. They've received the 10 Commandments. There was that regrettable thing that happened last week with the golden calf. But now we're reading the process by which the tabernacle, the portable temple, was going to be built. It would be schlepped by the Israelites through into the wilderness and would be the very model for the later temple in Jerusalem. And central to this tabernacle was the Ark of the Covenant, a box, a container like our ark that contained the 10 Commandments. And we are told that on top of this golden ark, there was a golden cover, and it was topped with 2 statues called winged cherubim, celestial beings of some kind. Now, you may know that in Latin, cherub got translated into cherub, and when I say cherub, you may be thinking about these adorable ones. Their parents might differ with us, are they really cherubs? But really, in Hebrew, the idea of cherub is not this adorable little winged creature, but instead it's more like what it might have looked like in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like if you looked at them, your face would melt off. So we're left with this problem. How do you understand what they look like? How did they stand? What did they look like? Some people believe that the Israelites after Egypt crafted an image which they had seen all around them, like image number 1 on this handout. This is a Babylonian guard of some kind. You might think it looks like an Egyptian sphinx. And so maybe the cherub, from the word to draw close, which reminded us not to go close, looked something like what other peoples had around. However, other people say we don't know exactly how they looked, and in fact, we don't even know how they looked. Our Torah reading today says, which we see in the middle of the page, Exodus 25 to 18, that the cherubim were Pneihem ish el achiv. They were facing one another. But later on the text below, 2 Chronicles says, no. It says, in fact, the widespread wings of these cherubim crossed across the room, and they were standing up facing the house, or the temple, the Bayit. And so image number 3 is more like they were. Now, we don't know exactly which one it is, and by the way, I have Hebrew with vowels and punctuation for Chronicles, but take the vowels away and it will look like the Exodus text for you to see what the Torah might look like. And we don't even know. How could the Bible contradict itself? Some people say Lebayit doesn't necessarily mean that they were facing the house, but rather that they were facing each other, and that we can say there is no contradiction. But Rabbi Yochanan said, no, 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 it absolutely happened. In fact, the cherubim faced one another when people got along and behaved well. But when God's people did not, the cherubim turned around and turned away to face outward and showed the Israelites they were doing bad things. Finally, Rabbi Eliezer says that the cherubim faced the building like Chronicles says. So how did he explain the Exodus text? Well, he said that they were so big that they didn't even fit this way, and they didn't fit this way, so they had to be slightly diagonal, and they faced one another. And so with the Broadway look, we indeed understand how he felt the story went. And a rabbi known as Rabbi Samuel Ben Meyer, or Rashbam, left us this little doodle in the Talmud, one of the only illustrations that you will find in Jewish text. He wrote it down maybe on one of his cocktail napkins, but it found its way into the Talmud. They were not facing one another, he says. They were facing the building, but one another at the same time. Now, you might wonder why we even care what this ancient thing looked like, but it seemed to me that this is actually very relevant a question for this day as well. Which of these opinions about the cherubim reflects where we are in this present moment and in this place? Is our sanctuary a place of worship, or is it a place where we come primarily to connect with other people, as we would learn in Exodus? Is it a place where we come to be face to face? Or is it a place where we come to gaze at the ark and all of the holy moments and to turn inward and to receive our spirituality from this holy spot? What about those of us who are visiting us and are online? Are they feeling the full sense of community through their comments? Is it a holy spot for them, perhaps even more holy as they sit on their couches in their bedroom slippers and feel even more comfortable than any of the rest of us? We don't really know who is right. Perhaps it is Rashbam who is right. Maybe this holy moment is holy for a little bit of both. That we are sort of diagonal. We are facing both inward and outward all at the same time. Could the holiest of places be somewhere where we feel deeply connected to the others in our community, while at the same time can take a moment and turn inward and remember the holy images that meant so much to our ancestors and hopefully to our descendants? Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, may his memory be for a blessing, my hero rabbi, I quote him all the time, spoke about the name of this portion. It's called Vayakhel, and they gathered. It's a gathering. All the people are gathering now around this new tabernacle to celebrate Shabbat. And Rabbi Sachs reminds us it doesn't matter why we come to these holy spots. The most important thing, though, is that our gathering is a special gathering. There are two kinds of gatherings, he says, sometimes in protests and riots, and when we're angry and when we are violent, we are gathering against. Rabbi Sachs says that the people gathered against God and our tenets when they built the holy calf, but they have now made a repair. They are indeed gathering now, not against, but for, and it is for the purpose of building a holy space and finding a holy space for us and for all of our people. And so we pray that it is for all of us, whether we are gathering in person or online, whether we are together or alone and meditating in our hearts. May all of our gatherings be for holy healing, and then indeed will we be blessed. And so we turn to our Aleinu, which faces our holy community to the ark from which all wisdom comes. And we rise together as page 9 of our service gives us the words that tell us God is one. When we unite under the same image, we will remember to walk out of here and work on healing the world. We open the ark and together we chant, Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'atei gedula yoseh reshit, Shalom asanu k'goyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama. Shalom ואנחנו קוראים ומשרים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו And we close the ark but remain standing, for soon we will remember those whom we have loved and lost, the anniversaries of whose passing we are commemorating on this evening. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. We turn to the Kaddish prayer on page 10. It is a prayer that we say every day, indeed, for those whom we have loved and lost. It is a part of every story, of every service that we have. However, we mark the anniversary of the passing of individuals in our families and in our community who all meant so much to us. And so we give thanks for the lives of the following people who died in this season in times past. Isidore Farber, Leah Klein, Joan Chesler, Betty Glickler, Kathy Michelson, Anna Shapiro Fishman, Arthur Liberty, Ray M. Cook, Goldie Innes, Ruth Crace, Ruth Zola Goldberg, Irving Troy, and Helene Chard. We also add to this list the name of those whom we have lost so recently, and we remember the very recent passing of Mark Constantine. Are there any other names that we remember on this Shabbat for yourself? If not, we gather these names together with all of those whom we have loved and lost, and we thank God for the gift of their lives with these words. Yet Gadal v'yitchadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayei chonu yomei chonu v'chayei v'chol beit Yisrael, v'adalav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah v'barach le'olam u'lomei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitkavar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei v'kedusha v'richu, la'ela v'yikol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiram v'yama v'ibru, amen. Yehei shalom rabba v'shishamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'ibru, amen. Osei shalom v'nurmav, u'yasei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, amen. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens let peace descend upon us, upon all of Israel and all of the world, as we say, amen. And we are seated. And to prepare for our birthday blessings and refreshments, we thought we would have Kiddush and Hamotzi, and I don't know if the following people, let's see, where's my list, to call them up and call them out. For those, how about anybody who has a birthday in January through March? If you would come to the Kiddush table, you get the wine. Oh, Rachel, like the boy. These are not 65-year-olds, we'll only read your names. Rachel is the only one, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And Mary.
I'm not even here yet.
Seniors can't get there, I get it. Okay, but we also want to wish a happy birthday to Michael Albert, Robert Bernstein, Doris Constantine, Bill Freed, Dale Goldberg and Marcia Goldberg, Izzy Gooderman, Jerry Hallis, Vicki Human, Jane Hochstein, Jeffrey Hoffman, Harvey Lerner, Jan Maharam, Lee Manders, here's Ann Marks, Barbara Mendelson and Gail Moore, Wayne Novick and Dennis Patterson, Ted Schutzbank and Ira Segalowitz.
Is that?
He'll never miss out on getting that one. And Jerry Troy, and all the other ones we missed. So, and those of you out there, we wish you happy birthday, and we have Kiddush and Hummus. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, page 11. Borei Ori HaGalafen, Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'yahavam v'ratzon yivanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, kibuyot tefilah, l'nikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim, kibanu avarta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikorim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'yavanu ratzon, inkaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, b'kadesh hashabbat. Amen. I've got to check, I don't know what's under there. That's fine. Yes, it's so good. It is rye bread. Don't tell. Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. And come on, kids, you stay there, Eric, you stay
I was
there.
gonna bring them back up.
I'll bring the kids up for a happy birthday. You don't have to work on this one. The choir will help me with this. I think we can do it. Come on, big happy birthday for them all.
Where's Abby? Happy birthday.
Day to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday everybody, happy birthday to you. Way too high. Yom Halelet Sameach, Yom Halelet Sameach, Yom Halelet Sameach, Yom Halelet Sameach. That's Hebrew for happy birthday.
We don't have to skip around.
I will skip that.
Okay, all right.
Oh my goodness, look who's ready for me. Oh, but one more thing, you gotta wait till the closing song, Claudette. So we gotta
Our
call.
birthday twins.
Cool.
All this time and I did not know. No, but we're birthday twins. All this time I've been here and I didn't know that. March 14th.
Okay. our closing song, Adon Love, on page 12. And if our, oh, there's Claudette. She's coming to sing.
Where's Abby? Hello.
Let's just go. Let's just do it.
Okay, all right, and do the prayer.
Ready?
Jay, are you sure Addie's not close? She really wanted to do this.
Yeah, stand up. Mary, let's just go.
What are we doing?
Okay. This is the call and response. Have fun with this one. It is St. Patrick's Day, so you can pretend it is the drinking version. Woohoo! I'm gonna use you, Marilyn.
All right. Let's do the last one. Viado.
We wish everyone Shabbat Shalom, and as I mentioned, there's cake and refreshments out there. If our guests will stay just a moment or two, we can do a little bit of debriefing, and then we'll send out for cake too. Shabbat Shalom and happy birthday to one and all.
Yeah, someone for tonight? Look who's behind you.
I saw.
I think I'm just
I
gonna
think
put
we're
them
talking on the more often.
Aren't they on here? Yeah, I took them off.
Shabbat
I'll just put them all on this one. I'm sure they are anyway. Who they belong to.
Shabbat Shalom.
I think some of them might actually.